Hi, I'm Sophia, a 19-year-old college student with a story that might just change the way you think about family. Growing up as an adopted child, I was surrounded by the warmth and love of my parents, who never made me feel anything less than their own. But there was always a chill in the air when it came to Grandma Margaret. At family gatherings, while laughter and conversation filled the room, a cold front seemed to settle wherever she was, especially near me. "So, Sophia, how's your little college adventure going?" Grandma Margaret would ask, her voice tinged with disapproval, as though going to college was a frivolous pursuit. "Oh, it's enlightening," I'd reply, trying to keep things civil, even though I knew she didn't approve of my major in social work, a field she thought was too charitable for someone as privileged as me. My parents, John and Mary, often tried to ease the tension. "Mom, Sophia's doing great. Aren't you proud of her?" my dad would say, attempting to bridge the gap between us. I suppose Grandma Margaret would mutter, sipping her tea and scanning the room for a more suitable conversation partner. As my 18th birthday approached, I secretly hoped things with Grandma might change. We sent her an invite to my birthday dinner, despite her usual frosty demeanor. "Maybe this year will be different," I mused to my best friend, Lily, over the phone. "Maybe she'll see that I'm more than just the adopted granddaughter." Lily, ever the optimist, encouraged me, saying, "You're better than you think, Sophia. Maybe she'll finally see that too." On the night of the party, I carefully chose a blue dress my mom said brought out my highs, hoping it might soften Margaret's usual scrutiny. As guests arrived, laughter filled our home until Margaret walked in. Her eyes swept over me with the same cold indifference. "Happy birthday, Sophia. You look mature," she said without warmth. "Thank you, Grandma. I'm glad you could come," I replied, my smile feeling forced. The dinner went on as usual, with polite conversation and simmering tension. But halfway through the evening, just as I was about to cut the cake, the doorbell rang. I offered to get it, my heart pounding for reasons I couldn't explain. When I opened the door, I found myself staring at a woman who looked oddly familiar, her features echoing my own. "Sophia, I'm Evelyn," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm your birth mother. I had got a call from Margaret. She told me you wanted to reconnect, that you needed to know your real family because you felt out of place." The knife I was holding slipped from my hand, clattering against the plate. Behind me, the chatter in the room fell silent. "Is this true, Sophia? Are you unhappy here?" Evelyn asked, her eyes searching mine for answers I didn't have. "No, that's not true at all," I stammered, feeling trapped. I turned to look at Margaret, her expression unreadable. This was the storm I hadn't seen coming, one brewing from within the very walls I thought were safe. Margaret had orchestrated this. The festive atmosphere of my birthday shattered in an instant, leaving me in the eye of a betrayal that would change the meaning of family for me forever. "Margaret told me you were unhappy, that you felt out of place in your adoptive family," Evelyn continued, her voice breaking. "She said you wanted to meet me to connect with your roots." "That's not true," I said, my voice cracking. I don't know why Margaret would say that. My eyes darted to my grandma, pleading for an explanation. My father stepped forward, his face filled with confusion and anger. "Why would you do this, Mom?" he asked. My mother, her voice a mixture of disbelief and hurt, demanded, "What are you trying to accomplish, Margaret?" "She deserves to know where she comes from," Margaret snapped. "She has a right to know her real family, not just the one that's been playing pretend." "Grandma, how could you?" I choked out, the hurt evident in my voice. "They're not pretending. They are my family. Sophia is our daughter, Margaret. How dare you undermine that?" My dad's voice rose, his usual calm replaced by fury. Margaret, seemingly taken aback by the outcry, mumbled, "I thought I was doing the right thing. She has a right to know her blood." "Blood isn't the only thing that makes a family, Margaret. You've crossed the line," my mom said, her disappointment palpable. Turning to Evelyn, I tried to offer some reassurance. "I'm sorry you were dragged into this under false pretenses," I said softly, hoping to mend at least one part of the damage Margaret had caused. "I just wanted to meet the daughter I couldn't raise." Margaret made it sound like you wanted the same. Evelyn's voice was soft, her sorrow reflecting the chaos Margaret had created. The room grew still, the festive decorations a stark contrast to the heavy hearts we all carried. I glanced around at my family, my real family, and felt a renewed sense of belonging, despite Margaret's attempts to fracture it. "Let's talk, Evelyn," not because of what Margaret did, but despite it. I want you to know the family that raised me, the family I love. My words, offered as a bridge between my past and present, hung in the air, a tentative offer of reconciliation amidst the ruins of the evening. Thank you, Sophia. I like that, Evelyn responded, her acceptance the first step toward healing, a glimmer of hope on a night marred by unexpected revelations. Why would you do something like this, Margaret? What were you thinking? My father's voice was stern, demanding answers in the wake of the ruined celebration. I thought it was helping, Margaret replied, her tone defiant. I thought she needed to reconnect with where she came from, to understand that she wasn't really one of us. One of us? Sophia is more a part of this family than anyone else could be. How could you say she's not one of us? My mother's voice trembled with a mixture of fury and pain, her protective instinct fiercely awakened. You never understood Mary. You and John took her in, but blood is blood. I thought she should know her own kind, Margaret replied, her old-fashioned beliefs clashing with the values we held dear. Her own kind? We are her kind, Margaret. We are her family. John's voice, usually so calm, broke under the weight of the betrayal. Mom, Dad, I love you. You raised me, you cared for me. Margaret, why can't you see that? Why can't you accept that I am happy? That this is my real family? My voice interrupted the rising argument, a plea for understanding amidst the chaos. Sophia, I thought I was doing the right thing. Maybe I was wrong. For the first time, Margaret's voice softened, a crack in her defiance finally appearing. You've caused so much pain tonight, Margaret. How do we move forward from here? My mother's question lingered, with uncertainty heavy in the room. We start by acknowledging that Sophia's place in this family is not up for debate. She is our daughter. That's final. If you can't accept that, Margaret, I don't know how you can be part of our lives. My father's ultimatum was clear, the boundaries set. Sophia, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can forgive me, but I am sorry. Margaret's apology was hesitant, her pride battling with the realization of the hurt she had caused. I appreciate your apology, Grandma, but it's going to take time. A lot of time, I responded, the wound too fresh, the betrayal too deep to simply move past. As Margaret left the room, the silence that followed was a relief, a chance to breathe. John and Mary wrapped their arms around me, their love a balm to the sting of the evening's revelations. We love you, Sophia. Nothing changes that, not now, not ever, my mother whispered, her reassurance a gentle echo in the chaos. A reminder of the unbreakable bond we shared. As we stood united, the challenges ahead seemed daunting but not insurmountable. With the love and support of my parents, I knew we could face anything, even the deepest family rifts. Weeks later, I sat across from my therapist, the room quiet except for the soft ticking of the clock. It's just so hard to understand why she did it. Margaret wanted to send me back to a place I haven't belonged in years, I said, my voice tinged with the lingering hurt. Sophia, it's important to process these feelings. What she did was not a reflection of your worth, but of her own struggles with acceptance, my therapist gently explained, her words steady amidst my turmoil. I know, but it still hurts. My parents have been incredible, reassuring me every day that I'm loved, that I belong. I replied, grateful for their unwavering support. Those therapy sessions became a lifeline, helping me rebuild trust in the family that had always been my home. Meanwhile, Margaret's situation took a tragic turn. Her health began to decline rapidly, a cruel irony as she found herself needing the very family she had once tried to tear apart. One afternoon, my mother called me into the living room. Margaret was there, looking frail and diminished. Sophia, I need help. I am sorry for everything. Her voice was weak, her eyes pleading. Margaret, this is hard for me, but I can't ignore someone in need. Not even you. Despite everything, I felt a stir of compassion. We were still family, even if the bonds were frayed. Thank you, Sophia. I don't expect forgiveness, but I'm grateful for your help, Margaret admitted, her reliance on us evident in her tone. In the weeks that followed, I found myself accompanying Mary to Margaret's doctor visits, supporting her through appointments. In the quiet, sterile hospital corridors, I saw a side of Margaret I'd never known. I was wrong, Sophia, she confessed one afternoon during a long wait. Your parents, they're good people. And you truly are their daughter. Her voice was barely a whisper, but the sincerity was undeniable. It's been a long journey, Grandma. It'll take time to heal, I said, my own walls cautiously coming down. Time? Yes. I hope there's enough of it left for me to make things right, she mused, her words tinged with regret. My therapy sessions continue to be a safe space for reflection. You're navigating this with great maturity, Sophia. How you're handling Margaret's situation is commendable, my therapist remarked during one session. It's not easy, I admitted, but I'm learning that family isn't just about blood. It's about who stands by you when the ground shakes. My understanding of family was deepening as Margaret leaned on us more, and our household shifted. From the ashes of betrayal, new bridges were being built, slowly, painstakingly. In the quiet of Margaret's room, the steady beep of the monitor reminded us of life's fragility. Her breathing was labored, her health fading faster than we'd expected. Despite the pain she had caused, I found myself holding her frail hand in mine. You've been so kind to me, Sophia. After everything I've done, she murmured one afternoon, her voice stripped of its former sternness. It's what family does, Grandma. We take care of each other, no matter what. I replied softly, my words meant to soothe the wounds of our past. I see that now. I wish I had seen it sooner, Margaret said, her eyes meeting mine with a clarity that spoke of realizations come too late. We can't change the past, Grandma, but we can accept its lessons, I responded, squeezing her hand gently. Forgiveness, hard won through my own journey of healing, was finally given. As the days turned into nights, Margaret's moments of lucidity grew rarer. But in those moments, she spoke of gratitude, regret, and the understanding she had gained at the end of her life. When the end came, it was peaceful. Margaret passed away with my parents and me by her side. A somber yet serene finale to a life marked by both strife and change. Her funeral was a quiet affair, attended by those who had witnessed her transformation and supported her in her final days. Standing by her grave, I felt a weight lift. A chapter was closing, not with bitterness, but with the quiet dignity of reconciliation. She found peace, Sophia. And I think we can find it too, Mary whispered as we watched the last of the mourners leave. Yes, Mom. It's time to look forward, to build on the love we have. As we walked away, the sun broke through the clouds, its rays like fingers of warmth reaching down to soothe the chill of the graveyard. It felt like a sign of new beginnings, of the enduring power of love and acceptance, a fitting tribute to the lessons learned and the family bonds that had ultimately withstood the tests of time and trial. As our story draws to a close, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Do you believe true forgiveness is possible when someone deeply betrays family trust, as Margaret did? Can family bonds overcome such deep wounds? Share your opinions in the comments below.